What's up, guys? Welcome to my special video for the week. I don't normally drop videos outside of the scheduled Wednesday video, but this week I had some special circumstances, so I wanted to make a special video to share with you all. A couple of days ago, I received a package of comics that absolutely blew my mind. It came with a very touching letter from a viewer of the channel. And when I tell you that this package absolutely blew me away, that's an understatement. I'm still, after about a week of having these books, at a loss for words. There are so many of the books that were in this box that were on my want list, on my wish list. So many books that were in this box that I was just very passionate about the creators or the titles themselves. Through doing the adult erotica in comics series on Wednesdays, I have gotten to know so many different creators that I had no idea about beforehand. And I've fallen in love with a couple of different ones in particular, but most of all, I've fallen in love with underground comics, as well as erotica in comics and the people behind the erotica as well. It's been an interesting journey for me, and my favorite part of the journey has been meeting some of my viewers. I have some of the most fantastic viewers that watch my videos on Wednesdays. I consider myself blessed to have gotten to know some of them and to continue to get to know a lot of these people. And one of these people goes by the name of David in Lexington, Kentucky. I've had several chats back and forth with this gentleman and several good conversations. He shared so many cool stories with me in the comment section of my videos. And he reached out to me a little while ago and told me that he basically had a collection of books. He's getting older, and he wanted this collection of underground comics to go to somebody that he felt like would appreciate them, preserve them, and enjoy them. And I told him, you couldn't have picked a better person. I love this stuff. I am passionate about this stuff. I want to preserve it, and it's something that I do love and enjoy. And I hope that it shows when I do my Wednesday videos, because I do love these titles that I talk about. And if it's something that I don't know about, I grow to love it. And by the end of the video, it's another book that I'm looking for and that I'm passionate about. This is just something that I love doing. And that's one thing I've learned as a YouTuber. I've watched so many other YouTubers come and go because they didn't love it. You have to love it, or you're not going to stay in it. You're gonna fade and burn out. But I love comics. I love underground comics. I just love this. And my favorite part is getting to know the people that watch the channel and getting to hear the stories about how these comics played a role in their life and different periods of time, like college years, high school years. I get to hear all these cool stories, and that's my very favorite part of doing the channel. It's the most rewarding part. But David reached out. I told him I would absolutely love to have the books. He told me he would send me an inventory list of the books if I wanted him to, but I didn't want to trouble him that much. Plus, I kind of like the idea of it being a surprise. He mentioned that there would be a few Cherry Poptart books in the box, so that alone had me pretty excited. And so I was like, yeah, absolutely. Send them. I will reimburse you for the shipping. So a little while later, he sends me a receipt for the shipping fee, and it was a little up there for a shipping fee. So I was like, man, if it's this much, which I had no problem reimbursing, by the way, but if it was that much, I knew it was going to be a big box of books. And when it showed up, it was a huge, heavy box of books. And when I opened this box, I immediately knew that it was something special just by looking at the top layer of comics. Excuse me. There were 3 or 4 on the very top that were books that have been on my want list for so long and were either too expensive or I just didn't find them. And I have found over the last couple of days, I've been bagging and boarding. I bought so many packs of bags and boards. But I'm happy to do it, and I've been having a blast just going through, putting these books in bags and boards, and just enjoying them. Just enjoying them for what they are. There are so many amazing books that we're going to take a look at in this video today from David in Lexington, Kentucky. I got to get it right this time because I was talking about this on a live stream a couple of days ago, and I kept saying Louisville, Kentucky. David is from Lexington, Kentucky, and I definitely want to shout out David. He made this video possible. I cannot believe that there are people that are this kind in the world, but I was extremely touched. He wrote a letter. I got the package. It was a massive package of these amazing books, and there's this letter on top, and I wanted to share this letter, and I made sure it was okay with David. He said it's cool, I could share it with you guys, but I wanted to share this. I went through every emotion in the spectrum since opening this box, because it was just that good, guys. So if you have to sit through a little bit of me blabbing, I promise it's going to be worth it. But I just wanted to share this story with you because it's a very touching story. Got this nice letter from David I wanted to read you guys. It says, "Greetings. I have tossed in a few Dave Stevens covers, which, while not adult, are among my favorites. You will also find a few Michael Thibodeau covers in here. These are among my favorite cover artists of all time. I hope you get plenty of enjoyment out of these. I am now of an age where downsizing is important, and you seem to be an obvious choice for inheriting these. Kudos to you for your continuing recovery from whatever your addiction was. My addiction was opiates. I'm an open book. I don't mind sharing with you guys. My only was smoking, and I quit that so many years ago, I no longer even have dreams about it. I did not, as you did, manage to avoid serving at the pleasure of the prison system, but that, too, is so far back in the rearview mirror that it is hardly a ripple in my life anymore, especially as I am retired and no longer need to seek employment. That is probably more than you want to know about me, so I will stop. I have not looked at any of these comics in a very long while, and the fewer odds and ends I leave around here when the eventual and unavoidable end comes, the easier it will be on whichever nieces and nephews are tasked with sorting and disposing." And then he ends the letter with something that just absolutely had me in tears. I was already kind of tearing up just looking at the books. But he ends the letter with, "Have fun, enjoy life, David." And that's something that I forget to do sometimes. It's something that I don't do a lot of times. I'm always putting a lot of stress, unnecessary stress on myself. Sometimes I don't take the time to have fun and live life. So that had me breaking down in tears. Like I said, it's been an emotional couple of days. Just some fantastic books that we're going to be taking a look at today. But have fun, enjoy life. That's my slogan for 2025. And I suggest you guys do the same. Enjoy life, have fun, and enjoy life in 2025. Let's take a look at some fantastic books that David sent me all the way from Lexington, Kentucky. Big shout out to you, David. I'm going to switch the camera over to where we get a better view. So stick around. All right, you sat through me talking. Now you get to enjoy some awesome books. There are just so many fantastic books in this box, but we are going to start with the Leather and Lace run from Aircel, a Canadian imprint. This is by writer Barry Blair, or creator Barry Blair, I guess you could say. I plan on covering this on my channel really soon for the Wednesday Adult Erotica and Comics video. But this is Leather and Lace issue 1. And we're going to be looking at a lot of leather and lace books right now. This is issue 2. I'm going to show what I feel like I can. And what I need to cover up, I'll have to cover up, unfortunately. So I'm going to try to show as much as I absolutely can. But when it comes to nudity, I am going to have to censor that. So unfortunately, I'll have to censor it for YouTube. But we'll take a look at as much as we possibly can. That was issue 4. So far, we're in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Issue 5. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Leather and Lace. I've heard of it. Can't wait to dive into the series. Can't wait to find out more about it. This is issue 6. These have some really, really good covers. Let's see. This one. No, this one's good. Really like the artwork a lot on these. But this is one of the most touching packages that I've ever gotten in the mail. One of the best mail calls I've ever received, hands down. Both David and Mr. Neil from California that's been sending me the heavy metal are just legends, absolute legends. So big shout out to David, Lexington, Kentucky, man. You rock. This is number 9. Yeah, man, he's a legend. Absolutely made my dream come true with this package here. Knocked so many books off of my want list. Leather and Lace issue 10. So far, I'm not really having to censor any, so that's good. Issue 11. I'll try to avoid it always at all costs. Then it skips a number. We go to issue 13. So we're missing issue 12. Try to find that. Even though I never find Leather and Lace in the wild, but I will try to find issue 12 now that I know I need it. We got issue 14. Let's see. We got issue 15. Issue 16. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and checking out these books with me. I have had so much fun bagging and boarding these. They're all in brand new bags and boards. And it was a lot of books. It was a lot of books to rebag and board, but it was an absolute pleasure doing it. I had a blast. Issue 17 right there. It's a little spicy right here. Here is issue 18. Still don't have to cover anything up yet. Let's see. We go to issue 20. So far, only missing one in the whole run. That's awesome. Let's see. Here's issue 21. Fantastic covers. Fantastic covers in this run. A lot of which I've never seen before. Here's issue 22. I hope you guys enjoy taking a look at these books with me. I hope that you guys enjoy looking at these as much as I have the past couple of days. I was actually showing these off briefly in another live stream the other day, and it's just, I've had so much fun with these books. Issue 23. I love this cover. This one's probably my favorite cover out of all of these. This is for issue 24. Look at that cover. Really pretty. I like that a lot. Good stuff. And then we go to issue 25. And that's a pretty cover as well. I've started to do a little research on Leather and Lace. I actually heard that Aircell was like some sort of air conditioner company or something like that before it became an imprint. This is pretty funny. Here's a Leather and Lace Summer Special 1990. So we have Leather and Lace Book 2, Blood, Sex, and Tears, and this is issue 1. So I have quite the Leather and Lace collection. I only need to pick up a few to have it completed, it looks like. This is Book 2, Blood, Sex, and Tears, issue 2. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. This is Book 2, Blood, Sex, and Tears, issue 3. So we got, okay, and that's where the Leather and Lace ends. So we have 3 of the 4 in that mini-series there. So I need to find issue 4 of the Blood, Sweat, and Tears Book 2 mini-series there. Next, we are going to go with a series that I've covered on the channel, and YouTube made me pull the video down. It's the only channel that I've gotten in bad trouble with YouTube about, and I've had to pull down. So this next title is Xenophile, and it is by Phil Foglio. Like I said, I covered it on the channel. I really enjoyed covering it, but YouTube did not enjoy me covering it. So it got yanked down. And I got in a little bit of trouble. Censorship sucks. What can I say? This is Xenophile issue 1. And I'm really glad to have this in my collection now. Really proud to have that in my collection. Next one, I feel like I've developed a little bit of a nickname in the community for my Post-it notes, but I'm going to unfortunately have to cover issue 2 up with a Post-it note. Because you got a little bit of a graphic scene here. You got the cows raiding that graphic scene. So definitely got to cover that up and censor it out. Thank you, YouTube. And the same for the next one, unfortunately. This is issue 3 of Xenophile. Just plain sex. Nice little pun cover there. Love it. Really cool. Big fan of Phil Foglio. Halyard Press, Xenophile. This is issue 4. And this one doesn't need to be covered up. No, we're good. Actually, I'll cover up this one little side just in case. But there's issue 4 of Xenophile. Then we got issue 5. This one's going to have to be covered up, unfortunately, a little bit. You got the woman being electrocuted there. And these are fantastic. A lot of these books, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some with a few ticks here and there, but most of these books are in fantastic condition. I mean, they really are. Pretty awesome. Now, issue 6, I implore you to look up issue 6 on your own. Go do a Google search and Google Xenophile issue 6. I'm not going to be able to show any of this cover, unfortunately, on YouTube. And that sucks. I hate that. So do a quick Google search if you would like to see what this one is. Cool yellow and green trade dress, but that's all I'm able to show for issue 6. Do a quick Google search and check it out for yourself. It's pretty funny. It's basically an adult store, a man walking into an adult store. And then this one is going to require a little covering up as well. I apologize, guys. I hate this. I hate this as much as you guys do, I'm sure. But I appreciate you guys bearing with me on this, though. This is Xenophile issue 7. And I'm having to block out a scene that is taking place on the bottom there. So we're missing a little bit of that cover, unfortunately. But it's a good one. And you could Google search issue 7 if you wanted to as well. This one we won't have to cover up. This is for issue 8. That's a little bit of an unusual cover. Because it's like they did this artwork, but then at the bottom, it's got this like bubble wrap looking artwork. Which is, I don't know. I always thought that was unusual. But that is Xenophile, and that's issue 8. Alright, next up, we have to cover up a little bit of a scene here. This is issue 9. We got a silly little Grim Reaper guy coming in the door on this couple. Phil Foglio goodness is what we are going through right this second. And they did a Xenophile adult trading card game. Let me make sure that this is good. Yeah, we're good. They did a Xenophile adult trading card game. And it's based on the series, of course. It looks a lot like Magic the Gathering or one of those games. But that's what this cover is. It's a picture of the trading cards, some of the different trading cards. So that is issue 10. And then Phil Foglio did a Xenophile Big Book of Fun. And this is a huge book. It's a thick book. Look how thick that is. It's one of the thickest comics in my collection. But they don't call it the Big Book of Fun for nothing. And this contains pretty much all the Xenophile stuff. I think it contains all of it, if I'm not mistaken. So that is really cool to have. Thick boy book right there. So we got that, and then, let's see, I'm going to have to do a little bit of covering up on this one. This is a Xenophile spin-off series by the name of Utopia Unlimited, and this is issue 3. All right, now we're going to take a look at some of those Michael Thibodeau covers that David was mentioning to us in that very thoughtful letter. And I actually have 2 other covers for this Viking Hero, Last of the Viking Hero series, but I don't have this one, so it's fantastic. I am a fan myself of Michael Thibodeau and had some of these myself, but not this one. So this is issue 11. Check that out, guys. Really cool. Really cool. I actually used to mistake his stuff for Dave Stevens' art, and that's how I got into Michael Thibodeau. This is Phantom Force issue 5, and that is another Thibodeau cover. I love that. That's beautiful. Definitely can understand why you are a fan. This is issue 7. Just super happy to have these in my collection. Such a thoughtful package. It really was. Some of these are super valuable books. They will never leave my collection, though, I assure you. This is issue 8. I'm super sentimental, so these will definitely stay with me until I'm in a position where I'm feeling the same way that David was when he gave these to me. This is an early Adam Hughes right here. Really cool book. This is a book I've always wanted in my collection. And not only do I have this book in my collection now, Vampirella issue 1, the Adam Hughes cover. It's got that cool Dave Stevens poster offer on the front there. Not only do I have that, I also have the next issue with the Hughes cover as well. Dave Stevens poster offer on that. And then issue 3 is one that I don't see as much, and that is a Hughes cover as well. Dave Stevens poster offer. Non-redeemable at this point. Has not been redeemable in many years, but it's still cool to see on the front there. I'm not sure the artist on this. This is Vampirella issue 4, and it has that Dave Stevens redeemable poster ad on the front. I do know who this is. I did recognize this. I believe this is Brereton, Daniel Brereton. Fantastic artist. My friend Daryl got me into his artwork. And this one has the Dave Stevens poster offer as well. So glad to have issues 1 through 5 of that. Fantastic cover art, especially the Adam Hughes and that Brereton. Now we're getting into some Eros Comics stuff. This was a series I've never heard of before by the name of Beta Sexus. And this is issue 2. As you can see, we got that Eros Comics imprint logo right there. Beta Sexus 2. And let's see. This one's going to require a little covering, I think. This is Beta Sexus 3. Eros Comics. Thank you all for joining me as we look through this collection of fantastic adult comics and underground comics that were sent to me from David in Lexington, Kentucky. Fantastic legend. Absolute legend. This is Silky Whip. Eros Comics was let's see, how can I explain this? Eros Comics put out they were the adult imprint of Fantagraphics. But Eros themselves branched out and did a manga line. And this was one of the manga books, Silky Whip. It's really cool to have part of that comic history in my collection as well. To have some of those. Manga Erotica, that's what it was called. I remember now. Manga Erotica. Bondage Fairies. Fairy Fetish. Do you have a fairy fetish? Let me know in the comments. And this is Manga Erotica. Really cool. I like it. This is, we got some more fairy stuff, some more bondage stuff, but this is Venus Comics. Bondage Fairies issue 5. Never seen that one before. It's cool though. I like the weird fetish stuff. I'll be honest. I think it's pretty cool. Do some cool covers, cool artwork. I dig it. This is my first, let's see, is this Japanese? But it's one of those hentai manga adult comics. Flip through it backwards. I don't know what it's called. I can't read anything on the front. I think it's Japanese. Pretty cool looking though. Glad to have that in the collection. Really cool book. This was an adult series. I thought it was going to be Vertigo. Me and some other guys were talking about this. It's just it's just on the DC Comics imprint, but it's very much an adult series. This is called Breathtaker, and this is number 3 of a 4-issue series. I flipped through the inside. This is very much an adult series, but it's not the Vertigo imprint. It's just DC Comics. I was flipping through some books. He had this on the back of one of the backboards. And I'm not sure exactly who the artist is, but it is signed and numbered. And it's a beautiful art piece. So this was on the back of one of the backboards when I was changing out the bags and boards. I found this. Signed. If you know who this is, something Buchanan, I think. Let me know in the comments. It's numbered 76 out of 250. And it appears to be like B. Buchanan, something like that. Beautiful artwork, though. I love it. Really cool. Then, for you Robert Crumb fans, I had no idea that a chocolate bar by Robert Crumb existed by the name of Devil Girl. Choco bar, it's bad for you. Really cool. It contains some Robert Crumb artwork. Now, David, I can tell that David is my kind of guy. Not only because we've both been able to quit some things and get through some things in life, as many of us have, but he saved this. I definitely am the type of person that if I would have saw this, I would have enjoyed the chocolate bar and definitely saved this wrapper for that Robert Crumb artwork. And he did, so shout out to you, man, because I'm glad to have this. Did not know it existed, but we got a Robert Crumb chocolate bar wrapper. I think that's fantastic. I love stuff like that. Next up, this one explains itself. It speaks for itself here. We got the Best of Rated X. Nice little intimate scene on the front there. Now this is a book that actually got optioned recently, and I have the foil of this issue, and it actually went up in value because it got optioned. I think they were going to make a TV series or a film or something about it. This is Evangeline issue 1. I have the foil version, like I said. This is the cosplay version. I've never owned this one. That's cool to have in my collection. This is actually optioned recently. So you never know if those are actually going to go through, if the movie will end up getting made. But it could, and the value is up. That's kind of a hot book right now because of it. The Allagash incident. This looks really cool. This is about an alien abduction. So I look forward to reading that. Plus, it's got a crazy cover. All right, next up we have some Last Gasp Zap Comics. This is issue 11. And I apologize. I do have to cover this cover up because it's got some booty cheeks right there and a little devil and a naked devil woman there. Naked devil man there. So I had to cover this up. I apologize. This is really cool, though. I love these Zap comic covers. We're getting ready to look at a couple really cool covers. This is issue 12. Issue 12 of Zap Comics. That's awesome. I love that. I love that so much. This is my favorite of the 3 Zap comics that were in there, though. This is issue 13. Check this out. It's an awesome cover. And I've seen this one. I've seen this one before. I just feel like it's an iconic cover for the Zap series. Roberta Gregory. I covered her on my channel. Roberta Gregory and Naughty Bits. This is a good issue, too. This is issue 6. Fantastic condition. As you can see, it's a nice hippie cover. And yeah, Roberta Gregory, female pioneer, female cartoonist, pioneer in the comics industry. I love Roberta Gregory. She's awesome. And next up, we got some Peter Bagge, which I covered a couple weeks ago. Fantastic. I'm so happy to have this book in my collection, having just talked about it a couple weeks ago. We got Real Stuff issue 1. Man, that's crazy. I can't believe I own that now. That's awesome. I'm a big fan of cartoonist Peter Bagge. I was picking up his Hate Revisited series over the past year, and I absolutely loved it. That was my introduction to Peter Bag, so I've enjoyed catching up on his stuff. And this is real stuff. It's more, let's see, this is not Peter Bag on the cover. But I covered Dennis P. Eichhorn, who is the writer of Real Stuff, and he wrote these books. So I actually covered one of the creators of this issue anyways, even though it's not Peter Bag on the cover. Then, okay, I'm going to have to cover up this one. Sherry Flanagan on the cover. It says, I better get that rubber. And we got to do a little censoring on that one. It's issue 11. No, number 9. Number 9 of Real Stuff. Better get that rubber. Dennis P. Eichhorn is the writer on that. He is also the writer on this series by the name of Real Smut. Who's the cover artist? I don't know. Real Smut. That's awesome. Super glad to have that as well. Real Smut, this is issue 2. And then we are moving into some Real Girl. Real Girl, the sex comic for all genders and orientations by cartoonists who are good in bed. Really cool looking. I love this cover. I was trying to find the... Oh, issue 2. Issue 2. Sorry for the delay. I was trying to find the issue number. Real Girl issue 2. And check out that crazy cover. And then next up we got Real Girl issue 3. And I like that cover as well. Really like that one. Next up we have another Fantagraphics series, I think. Drawn in Quarterly, Dirty Plots. Dirty Plot. Drawn in Quarterly. This is one of my favorite covers that came in the whole box. I absolutely love this, and I think that you will too. This is called Vegetable Lover and Other Spicy Stories. Eros Comics. Check that out. I love it. Got the woman in a sort of a sexual pose. I say sort of. She is in a sexual pose with corn on the cob. Then you've got this zucchini and I guess some yams there. And then even in the background, like you got this this carrot standing out. It's just funny. That's just a great cover. Vegetable Lovers. Eros Comics. Moving on, we are... Let's see, this is 8-Ball. 8-Ball issue 16. I love the trade dress on that. Next up, we have the A1 True Life Bikini Confidential. And this is featuring artwork by so many different artists. It's A1 Special Book Number 1, Volume 1 from 1990. Check that out. How cool is that? And it says it features Brian Bolland, Alan Martin, Gary Leach, Alan Moore, John Bolton, Adam Hughes, Alan Davis, Mark Schultz, Dave Elliott, John Higgins, Pete Milligan, Will Simpson, Bob Burden, all kinds of fantastic artists. That's an awesome cover. This one is going to require some covering up, so I'm going to apologize in advance. Yep. Definitely going to have to bust out the posters for this one. This title is called Yubbies. And if you want to look this one up, this is Yubbies issue 1. And it's basically just a massive pair of boobs flying across the screen. You got some boobs down here and some boobs down here. And it's a little bit of a bondage cover. So, Yubbies issue 1. Moving on to some Young Lust. And I'll cover up the butt cheeks on this one. This is Young Lust issue 2. I like that trade dress as well. Really cool. And then we move on to issue 7 of Young Lust. Doing a little flashing on that cover. This one's pretty hilarious. The next book is, the title alone is freaking hilarious. Trying to see the imprint on this. This is called Coochie Cootie Men's Comics. Coochie Cootie Men's Comics. It's a little bit of a weird format. It's shorter than your typical comic. I've had other books like this before though, but it's an odd format. It's a little shorter. Coochie Cootie issue 1. It's got like a naked Nazi chick is what I'm covering up there. Moving on to a fantastic cover for Pop Art Funnies issue 4. Look at that. How cool is that? And let's see. I think I'm going to stay on the safe side and just cover this up just in case. The girl on this cover is covered up, but you can see, I don't know, you can, the nipples are too transparent, so we'll cover them. This is a cult. This is God, what's the imprint? I don't know, I want to say Fantagraphics. It's a cult Laugh Parade. That's pretty cool though. But it's almost like she has a wet t-shirt on. You can see like the flesh color of the areolas through the shirt on the cover. So here's some Rip-Off Press presents Underground Classics #1. That's awesome. And then moving on, I've been trying to find out a little bit more about this book. This book's piqued my interest a little. Can't find much information about it. But this is Alien Love issue 1. Got that red ink cover there. Alien Love issue 1. I looked on the inside. Very adult book. It's got some nudity and some alien stuff. Are you down with Alien Love? Let me know in the comments. Drop an alien emoji if you made it this far in the video. Drop an alien emoji in the comments. Let me know you made it this far in the video. This is a Golden Age comic, a 10-center. We got hot rods. So just a cool Golden Age comic. I need to buy some. This is the only one I didn't rebag and board. I don't have any Golden Age bags and boards. Plenty of silver, plenty of magazine, plenty of modern. No Golden Age. Need to get some, I guess. Here's the Freak Brothers Rip-Off Press. We're good. Had to make sure I could show it. Freak Brothers Rip-Off Press. Then we got, I think this is Fantagraphics. Yeah, this is Alien Fire from Fantagraphics. A little bit of a thicker book there. Then, this matches my Cheech Wizard hoodie that I'm wearing. And unfortunately, this is stupid, but I'm going to have to cover this up too. A little bit. Just a little bit. You'll still be able to see it. This matches my my hoodie. We got the best of Cheech, or the complete Cheech Wizard. Von Baudet, one of my favorites. I was really, really happy that was in the box. And this is like a who's who of, or like a, I don't know, everything I've covered on my channel was in this box. So it just really, really blew me away. The Lost Girls by Alan Moore. And I wasn't sure if this was an adult book. It's an adult book. It definitely is. As impressive as all those books were, you are not going to believe this last pile of books. I was blown away. This literally took so many books off of my wish list. I had a later print of Cherry Poptart. He gifted me a second print. There was a second print in this box. Second print is pretty valuable. It's pretty valuable. I got it covered up there already. But how you can tell the first print from the second print, the first prints have $2. It says $2 right there where it's got $2.50. The first prints say $2. Second print says $2.50. I am ecstatic to have this. I really am. Then we got issue 2 of Cherry Poptart. And Cherry Poptart is a book that I covered and is pretty much, well, it's one of the main reasons that, it's one of the things that got my channel monetized, was talking about this particular book. This book means a lot to me. I love Larry Wells. I love him as a creator. But this book, this particular book, means a lot to me because the Cherry Poptart videos that I've done on my channel have helped me get monetized, and it's probably the main reason I got most of the watch time I needed to get fully monetized. But what you have seen was Cherry's issue 1 through 4. And we got issue 5. And all I've ever owned was a reprint of issue 1. So I don't own any of these whatsoever. I've seen a few at conventions and I've almost went to buy them. They always want too much money for these, or they're just not in good condition at all. But these are not only in really good condition, but there's pretty much the whole runs here. That was issue 6. Here's issue 7. I could not believe it. Like, I'm still blown away by this. Issue 8. Absolutely blown away by the generosity. To know that there's people out here that would do such a nice thing. But one thing's for sure, they will be treasured, they will be loved, and they will be taken care of. We skipped issue 8 and went to issue 10, so I need to track down issue 9. Hopefully I'll be able to track down issue 9. This is a cool book. This is issue 11. This is the 3D issue. I've seen this homaged a couple of times. Vault Comics homaged this with the Money Shot series. Actually, I think I have it somewhere. All right, we're to the first one we're going to have to cover. Just a little bit, though. Issue 12. Just got some butt cheeks there I had to cover. And this is a rare issue. This is a really hard one to find. Very, very short print run. Just one you never see. This is issue 13. Now for this issue, thanks to my buddy Shane at 1063 Comics, he helped me figure this out. I was trying to figure out, there's duplicates of this issue, but one is purple, and it says adults only in white. One has a blue background, says adults only in black. And what Shane was able to help me find out was one is first print and one is second print, which makes a lot of sense. So we have issue 14, first and second print. So usually when they do a first and second print, it's because it's a significant issue. So what would be the significance of this issue, you ask? Well, it is going to be the origin of Cherry Poptart. So, you know, with comic book collectors, if you're watching this and you're not a big collector, with comic book collectors, you want to get the first appearance of a character. After that, you want to get the origin. You want to have the origin. You want to have the first team up of them and other popular characters. You want to have the second appearance. You want to have the first cover appearance. Those are just some of the things that you want to collect for a character that you love or that you're speccing on. Here's issue 15, a biker cover. Moving on, we got issue 16. Fabio, he can't believe it's not butter. We got 2 copies of issue 17. There is 2 prints of this, but I think this is just 2 copies of the first print for this one. So as far as I know, just 2 copies of the first print. Really glad to have 2 copies of them. Awesome cover. This is issue 18. Really cool. And then that's where the Cherry run, or that's where the regular run, the regular issues of Cherry end. But the Cherry fun does not stop just yet, because we have not 1, but 2 issues of Cherry's Jubilee. Always wanted this book. And now I have not 1, but 2. How cool is that? Then we got Cherry's Jubilee issue 2. And then we got not 1, but 2 copies of issue 4. Cherry's Jubilee. I like that cover. That looks cool. And that's where the Cherry Poptart stuff ends. Now, I saved what most people would consider the best for last, being Dave Stevens. I've got some Dave Stevens and some Betty Page stuff, which was what I felt like in general with most people are going to be the favorites, the crowd favorites out of all these books that I went through today. So if you waited around for Dave Stevens or Betty Page, here you go. We're getting started right now. I actually already had a copy of this, but I can never have too many copies of this. This is actually a better looking copy than what I had. Fantastic Dave Stevens cover. Somebody pointed out to me recently, and I had never noticed it. I guess because my eyes were always right here. But there's actually a dead man in the pile of pumpkins. I've owned this copy, or I've owned this comic for over a year at least. Probably longer than that, and never noticed that there was a man in that pile. Just goes to show where my eyes were. Next up, I bought this at a local con a couple of months ago. This was my last Dave Stevens cover that I had picked up, but this is a better copy than what I already had as well. But we got some Betty Page comics right here. Dave Stevens, fantastic. Really good stuff. Could never have too much Dave Stevens. Then next up, we got Alien Worlds. Beautiful Aurora cover there. And we got Alien Worlds issue 4, which is another beautiful cover. I love that one. It's a Dave Stevens favorite of mine. This next cover is probably not the most recognizable Dave Stevens, but this one's special because this was a collaboration with Dave Stevens and Jack Kirby. And if you look, you can see both of their names. Jack Kirby and Dave Stevens. Next up, he had not one, but 2 of the Dave Stevens issue 5 covers for Johnny Quest. This is a fantastic, iconic Dave Stevens cover. Not 1, but 2. I can't believe that. And to find one Dave Stevens cover gets me excited. So you can only imagine, like I was ready to fall over. Never owned this one. I've never had this one. Never been able to find it. Not 1, but 2. Could not believe it. Airboy. Airboy issue 5. I have a lot of Valkyrie covers too. I like this character a lot. Valkyrie. I have a lot of Valkyrie comics. And there are a lot of fantastic Valkyrie covers. None as good as this one though. None touched that one. Here's a book I didn't think I would ever own. But now I do, and I'm so happy about this. This is one of my favorite books out of the whole box. This is Space Vixens by Dave Stevens. I love this cover so much. Words cannot express. I never thought I would own this one. Quite an expensive book. But this will stay in my collection now and forever. And this one too. This is Crossfire, issue 12. This one's not too expensive yet, but I feel like people are catching on. I think this is going to be one that will be expensive one day. Classic Marilyn Monroe, Dave Stevens cover. You can't go wrong with that. This book deserves to be a very valuable book. Immaculate condition, grade worthy. A lot of these Dave Stevens covers that he sent me are. So huge, huge shout out to David in Lexington, Kentucky. This was number 1 on my want list for the year before last, and I never got it. And I kind of put it off because Dave Stevens stuff really took off. The prices skyrocketed, so I kind of put it on the back burner. But it's always been on the back of my mind to try to find this book, and I never have. And this, man, when I tell you it's a clean copy, it is a clean copy. DNA Agents. Fantastic. One of my favorite Dave Stevens covers. Moving on to probably the only Dave Stevens cover that unfortunately I'll have to cover up. But I'm only going to cover up a tiny little bit, what I absolutely have to. This one's awesome. Nice Western cover. I love the trade dress. Love the blue and the orange. And the lady, of course. But man, that's amazing. Cheval Noir. Cheval Noir. And that's issue 7. And then we got iconic Cheval Noir issue 1. This was right on the top of the box. When I opened this box, guys, this was right at the top of the box, kind of peeking at me in the far right corner of this massive box of comics. I saw this right away, and man, my eyes just started watering up. This is quite an expensive book, and this is another one that I've always really wanted and never thought that I would have. So when I tell you that this box was a dream come true, it was a dream come true in so many ways. Now that wraps up the Dave Stevens, but we are moving into some Betty Page. So any Betty Page fans out there, I know that I myself am a huge pinup fan from way back. I have a pinup girl on my arm, just a huge pinup girl fan. And who is more iconic than Betty Page? We got Betty Page in Bondage, annual issue, what's this, issue 2? Yeah, this is it. Annual issue 2, Betty Page in Bondage. Betty in Bondage. Get it right, Scott. This is one of my favorite books in the box that he sent, in the entire box. I may actually get this graded. Man, it's just beautiful. I love everything about it. I love the Betty drawing on the cover. I love the background, and then the back cover is just the background of this. It's just solid. But it's got that Andy Warhol type kind of look to it. The pop art. I don't remember what you call it, but I love the style that Betty is drawn in, and then in contrast with that pink and purple background with the real life picture of her. I love that. And then the back cover, like I said, it's just entirely this pink and purple pattern on the back cover. I think that would be a fantastic book to get graded. All right, we got some Betty Page from Eros Comics, and this one is going to require some covering up, unfortunately. I apologize. But this is Betty Page from Eros Comics. They did a series called Betty by the Hour. And really cool. If you ever see these, grab them. You probably won't. They're hard to find. I don't ever really see them. It's covered. Let's see. Got a little more covering up to do here. Betty by the Hour. Let's see. What issue? Issue 5. Betty Page. Betty by the Hour, issue 5. I think that's my favorite out of the Betty by the Hour covers. And then this one is issue 6. Betty by the Hour, issue 6. Figured I'd save Betty Page for last. Even Dave Stevens himself probably would have saved Betty Page for last, as he was infatuated with Betty, as am I. This is another Eros Comics series. This is a different Betty Page Eros series, though. I don't even know how to say that. Tor Love Betty, I guess. Cool cover, though. Awesome horror element with the pinup mixed. And I hate that I'm going to have to cover this one up. It's kind of bullcrap. I wish I could show you guys this one totally uncensored, because she is a beauty. But we got Betty Page, The 50s Rage, issue 1. Check that out. I love it. I love that cover. Sorry I had to censor that, guys. YouTube. I don't think any of the rest of it I'll have to. We got a few more books left, and I feel like I saved some of the best ones for last. Thank you guys that stuck around all the way through. Those that made it this far, let's see. Let me know what you think about Betty Page in the comments. If you made it this far, say, I love Betty Page in the comments. Let me know how you feel about Betty Page. Let me know you made it this far. Or type 3D. Just type 3D in the comments. The last 2 books, they're 3D Betty Page books. So just type 3D in the comments, and I'll know that you made it almost all the way through, at least to the very end, to the Betty Page part. We got Betty Page 3D, and I love this. This is like a little bit of a weird format. It's in a magazine bag and board. This is probably close to a Golden Age size comic. Betty Page 3D. Look at that. Just even beyond, like, these transcend transcend the comic lovers category. These are just like art lovers, pinup collectors. So many people would want these. But that's Betty Page 3D, and we are going to end it with Betty Page Captured Jungle Girl 3D. And these still have the 3D glasses in them. These books are immaculate. They're in great condition. Still have the 3D glasses in them. Just fantastic. Got this touching letter. What more can you ask for? This is one of the best packages I have ever got in my entire life. Big shout out to Dave from Lexington, Kentucky. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming out, checking out my special video for this week, checking out these fantastic books that David from Lexington, Kentucky sent to me. What a fantastic package. This is one of the best boxes that I've ever opened in my whole life, y'all. And big shout out to you, David. Huge shout out to the channel members. Thank you all so much for supporting me. The channel membership money goes towards basic necessities for new members in recovery. So I really appreciate you guys. I will be back at you with a brand new video this Wednesday. I think we're going to cover some leather and lace. So I'll see you guys then. Later. Have a great week, y'all.